Tonight we return to Hartfield, to the quiet warmth of a house that breathes slow, to the gentle routine of days that unfold without hurry. No new faces, no sharp turns, no need to follow a plot, only the soft comfort of familiar moments, the slow rhythm of domestic peace, and the quiet safety of a home that holds you like a gentle embrace. Let your breath slow. Let your body soften. Let the faint scent of warm tea and wood smoke wrap around you. Breathe in slow, drawing in the calm of this night. Breathe out softer, letting go of every tired thought, every tight muscle, every weight you carry. This is a space of warmth, of routine, of quiet peace, where nothing asks too much of you, and rest comes slow and sure. You are here in Highbury as dusk settles soft over the village. The sun has slipped below the horizon, leaving a faint glow of amber in the sky, fading slow into deep blue. Lamplights flicker to life in cottage windows, one by one, casting warm halos on the quiet streets. Curtains are drawn slow, tucking in the warmth of each home, keeping out the soft chill of the evening air. A light wind stirs, carrying the scent of jasmine from garden borders, its sweetness lingering soft in the air. Footsteps are few, slow and deliberate, villagers hurrying gentle toward their own hearths, their voices low, their laughter soft, fading into the stillness. Highbury settles into night like a well-loved book, its pages turn slow, its stories quiet and familiar. Hartfield stands at the edge of the village, its windows glowing warm, a beacon of quiet comfort in the fading light. The front door is ajar, letting out the soft glow of lamplight and the faint crackle of a fire from the drawing room. The air outside the house smells of freshly trimmed grass and the faint sweetness of apples from the orchard at the back, their scent carried slow on the evening breeze. A stone path leads from the gate to the door, lined with small glowing lanterns, their light soft and steady, guiding the way home. Everything here feels intentional, calm, safe, each detail a part of the slow, gentle routine that makes Hartfield feel like a hug, warm and unchanging. Inside, the drawing room is wrapped in warmth. A fire blazes slow in the hearth, its flames dancing soft against the stone, casting golden shadows on the walls and the plush carpet. The air smells of wood smoke and warm tea, of freshly baked scones, and a hint of cinnamon from a bowl of spiced apples on the mantel. A clock ticks slow on the wall, its rhythm steady and unhurried, marking the passing of time without rush. The room is filled with soft light, lamplights on side tables, their shades softening the glow, moonlight slipping slow through the curtains, painting silver streaks on the floor. It is a room of quiet domestic peace, where every object has a place, every sound is gentle, every corner holds warmth. Mr. Woodhouse sits in his favorite armchair by the fire, a soft blanket draped over his knees, his hands folded in his lap. He watches the flames with quiet contentment, his breathing slow and even, his face relaxed. His eyes drift closed now and then, only to flutter open soft, as if he is savoring the warmth, the quiet, the slow rhythm of the evening. A cup of warm tea rests on the small table beside him, its steam rising slow, curling into the air before fading. He does not speak, does not move. He simply is. In this moment, held in the warmth of the fire, the safety of his home, the comfort of routine. Emma moves slow through the room, her steps light on the carpet, making no sound. She carries a tray with a teapot and 2 cups, her hands steady, her movements gentle. She pauses beside her father's chair, leaning down slow to check his blanket, tucking it in soft around his legs. "Father, your tea is getting cold," she says, her voice low and calm, like the rustle of leaves in a soft wind. He opens his eyes, a soft smile touching his lips, and nods, his voice soft with drowsiness. "Thank you, my dear. It smells warm." Emma smiles back, her fingers brushing his hand gentle, before pouring the tea slow, the liquid glinting soft in the firelight. She sets the cup in his hands, wrapping his fingers around the warm ceramic, making sure he can hold it steady. "Drink slow," she says, her voice gentle. "It's still warm enough." He takes a small sip, closing his eyes again, as the warmth spreads through his chest. Emma lingers for a moment, watching him, before moving slow to the sofa, where she sits down, soft, crossing her legs, her hands resting in her lap. She does not reach for a book, does not pick up a stitch. She simply sits, watching the fire, listening to the clock tick, breathing in the warm, familiar sense of the room. This is her routine, her quiet peace, caring for her father, savoring the slow moments, being held in the warmth of their home. The fire crackles soft and a log shifts, sending a shower of small sparks upward before they fade into the air. Outside, an owl hoots once, soft and distant, before falling silent. The wind brushes against the window, a gentle tap, 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 before moving on. Inside, the only sounds are the clock ticking slow, the fire crackling, her father's slow breathing, and the soft rustle of her dress as she shifts slightly in her seat. Everything is slow. Everything is soft. Everything is safe. No noise, no hurry, no worry, only the quiet domestic peace that wraps around them like a blanket. Emma's gaze drifts to the window, where moonlight spills slow over the garden. She can see the outline of the rose bushes, their branches bare now, but still holding the promise of spring. She can see the small bench where she sits on afternoons, drinking tea and watching the birds, the grass bending soft in the evening wind. She thinks of the afternoons spent there, the sun warm on her face, the scent of roses thick in the air, the quiet conversations she shares with her father when he feels up to walking slow through the garden. Those afternoons are slow, sweet, uncomplicated, part of the routine that makes Hartfield feel like home, like safety, like warmth. She rises slow, her feet barely making a sound, and moves to the window, pulling back the curtain soft and to look out at Highbury. The village is quiet, its streets empty now, save for a single lantern carried by a servant, walking slow toward the vicarage. The light bobs slow in the distance, a small, warm glow in the dark. She smiles soft, thinking of how every home in Highbury is wrapped in its own quiet routine. Warm hearths, cups of tea, gentle conversations, slow moments of rest. This is the beauty of Highbury, of Hartfield, its quiet domestic peace, its slow rhythm, its warmth that never fades. Emma, my dear, her father says, his voice soft, breaking the stillness. She turns slow, smiling, and walks back to his chair, kneeling down beside him, her hand resting on his arm. Yes, father? Will you stay with me a while? He asks, his eyes soft with dependence, with trust. Of course, she says, her voice calm, her thumb brushing his arm gentle. I'm not going anywhere. She sits down on the floor beside his chair, leaning her shoulder against it, feeling the warmth of the fire on her back, the warmth of his hand on hers. This is the quiet care she gives him, slow, gentle, steady, never hurried, never forced. They sit like that for a long while, in silence, save for the clock ticking and the fire crackling. Mr. Woodhouse drinks his tea slow, sip by sip, his eyes closing now and then, his breathing growing slower, deeper. Emma rests her head against his chair, her eyes half closed, her mind drifting slow, like mist over the garden. She thinks of the morning, waking slow, making tea for her father, walking through the garden to check the flowers, reading a few pages of a book by the window. She thinks of the afternoon, visiting Mrs. Goddard in the village, walking slow through the lanes, stopping to admire a patch of daisies, returning home to make supper with the cook, whose movements are slow and steady, whose voice is soft and kind. She thinks of the routine of it all, the slow, gentle rhythm of each day, the warmth of familiar faces, the safety of her home. It is not exciting, not grand, not filled with noise or hurry, but it is good. It is peace. It is the kind of warmth that settles deep in your bones, the kind of safety that makes you breathe easier, the kind of routine that wraps around you like a soft shawl. She does not need more than this. No adventures, no grand declarations, no changes. She needs this quiet domestic peace, this slow rhythm, this warmth of caring for her father and being cared for in return. A servant enters the room slow, her footsteps light, carrying a tray with fresh scones and a jar of jam. She moves quiet, placing the tray on the table beside Emma, her voice soft as she speaks. "Shall I add more wood to the fire, miss?" Emma shakes her head, her voice low. "Not yet, thank you. It's warm enough." The servant nods, bowing her head soft before leaving the room, closing the door slow behind her, making no sound. Emma picks up a scone, breaking it soft in her hands, the crumbs falling slow onto the tray. She takes a small bite, savoring the buttery warmth, the faint sweetness of the jam, the familiar taste that feels like home. Mr. Woodhouse's head tilts to one side, his breathing slow and deep. He has fallen asleep, his face calm, his features soft in the firelight. Emma smiles, reaching up slow to brush a strand of hair from his forehead, her touch gentle, careful not to wake him. She tucks the blanket around him tighter, making sure he is warm, making sure he feels safe. She lingers for a moment, watching him sleep, her heart full of soft warmth, of quiet gratitude. Gratitude for this moment, for this home, for the slow, gentle routine that holds them both. She rises slow, her feet light on the carpet, and moves back to the sofa, sitting down soft, her hands resting in her lap. The fire has faded a little, its flames growing softer, lower, casting fewer shadows. The clock ticks on, steady and slow, marking the passing of the evening. The room is quieter now, save for her father's slow breathing and the faint crackle of the fire. Emma closes her eyes, letting her head rest back against the sofa, her breathing slowing to match the rhythm of the room. She feels warm. She feels safe. She feels held in the warmth of the fire, in the quiet of the house, in the comfort of routine. Outside, the moon rises higher in the sky, its light spilling soft over Highbury, painting the village in silver. The wind dies down, leaving the night still, quiet, safe. The lanterns in the village windows flicker soft, one by one, as villagers settle into their beds, drifting slow into sleep. Hartfield stands tall, its windows glowing warm, a haven of quiet domestic peace in the night. Inside, Emma sits by the fire, her eyes closed, her mind drifting, her body relaxed, held in the warmth of her home, the safety of her routine, the soft comfort of familiar moments. She opens her eyes slow, glancing at her father, who still sleeps soundly, his face calm, his breathing steady. She smiles soft, rising slow to check the fire, adding one small log slow, careful not to make a sound. The flames flicker brighter for a moment, casting warm light across the room, before settling back into a slow, gentle burn. She returns to the sofa, sitting down soft, her hands resting in her lap, her gaze drifting to the window, where moonlight shines soft on the garden. This is Hartfield's night. Slow, warm, safe. This is Emma's routine. Gentle, caring, unhurried. This is the quiet domestic peace that wraps around them, that holds them, that makes every moment feel like a soft hug. There are no changes, no worries, no hurry, only warmth, only routine, only quiet. Emma closes her eyes again, letting the warmth of the fire lull her, letting the quiet of the house settle deep in her heart, letting the slow rhythm of the night carry her toward gentle rest. And now, let that same warmth wrap around you too. Let the slow rhythm of this night lull you. Let the quiet peace hold you. You are safe. You are held. You are warm. Breathe in slow. Breathe out softer, letting every tension melt away. Your mind can rest. Your body can soften. Nothing asks too much of you. You are safe. You are held. Let your eyes close gentle. Let your breath settle into a slow, natural rhythm. Drift now, slow and unhurried, into peaceful rest.